All right, guys, you saw me messing around with the doors, and this is the initial fit. I haven't really done anything, but maybe I loosened up the nuts and bolts that held the cowl in place and kind of shimmied it because it was a little too close. And that's like all I've done. So let's check out the fitment on the doors. I knew it was gonna be good, but this is really good. Okay, so side view. I know the sun's kind of messing it up, but the door is a little low, and there's more gap on the top than the bottom. So what I've planned out that I think I want to do is raise the whole cowl up a little bit, which will raise the door here, because this body line is just a little bit lower than the body. This one seems all right. That one actually, it's not too bad. So I might have to go up just a tad. Yeah, because that is a little low. Just a tad low. It's almost there. And it's touching, so I'm thinking if I lift it up and back, that'll raise the body line up, and then clocking it this way will hopefully close the top gap here. Because I'm not sure, I could mess around with the back too, maybe raise it up a touch in the back. That'll close the top too. I can kind of maybe do a little bit of both, but it's really close. The cowl is excellent down the whole way up until the top. The other side, pretty much the same story here, but a little better. It's a little tight just because I have a clamp on the door, the posts here, just to hold the doors from swinging open. So that tightened up a little more, but it's nice. And this door is actually almost perfect. The cowl to the door is fine. Body lines match up. Couldn't ask for it any better. On the front, you can see that too. So this is it's a bathtub. Finally back together. It's gonna come off, and I'm pretty sure I'm sending these to blasters, because I want it to match everything. And I'm pretty sure there was a huge dent right there. There's a lot of material inside, so it makes me feel like there's a huge dent there. And it's a significantly heavier than the other door. So I think, oh yeah. There's something there. So, gotta take care of that. I don't know if it's lead or what it is. I don't know when the damage happened, but it definitely happened. So I think right now, I'm gonna continue on this back half. I just kind of wanted to get the doors on and make sure everything was kind of kosher, and it is. It's coming out really good. So I'm either gonna fully weld these and finish them off, or yeah, I'll do that. Why jump around? I do want to take care of these and get them shortened up, because my plan is I want to shorten them up and attach them right here on each side. So take them off, cut them, shorten them up, and I don't know if they're riveted. Yeah, there's rivets through the top here. So I don't know, I might weld them in. There's no point in having them riveted again. So take those off, fix those, and then same thing on the back here. I need to actually add material to the bottom there, so I might cut that flange off and just add a new flange instead of adding a piece in the middle. It would kind of make more sense. But this is definitely tack welded on. I'm not sure how I'm going to go about that. I probably should have done that before I fully welded, or I tacked in these inners, because now it's harder to get to. Yeah, whatever. I'll figure it out. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at now. Buttoning things up. So probably weld, you know, planish, and then start cutting those up. So looks like I'm working my way back to forward again. I probably work from front back, now I'm working back to front, getting everything situated. Then it'll come back off. I'll take the back section back off, fix the bottom, the corners there, not fix them, but tidy them up. Tidy up anything that's underneath that I can't get to. And then yeah, then put her back on. And you know what, Bob's your auntie. But again, I'm really psyched at how this car is coming out. Everything's kind of falling into place like I had planned. I guess all this planning is working out. So yeah, let's get working. All right, making a ton of progress on the 36. As you see, the weld has been mostly finished out. It's still like, I don't know, 80, 90%. I stopped about here. I just feel like when I mess with that corner, it's going to be easier to do it with the back end off and tipped up. In this area here, there's a little couple areas where the weld shrunk a lot, and I really can't get to it with the back end on. So like again, with the front, when this thing's all tipped up, I'll be able to shove a dolly back there so I can smooth that out. Because right now, as you can see, it's pretty tight. I can't really get anything in there. So, and the same story on this side. You saw me tacking a bunch. I just went along and filed it and hammer dollied it a bunch so it's smooth. The way, since I'm a righty, I hammer with my right hand. It's awkward to get from like here down. The other side, I could kind of shove my hand in there and hammer dolly to like probably about here. And obviously there I just showed you, but for some reason it lined up really well and I could just weld it and finish it off mostly. This side, there's a little misalignment issues here and I can't hammer and dolly that flat until I take it off. So I'm really only gonna weld from here over. And then the same story on the bottom, I'm not gonna mess with that until I do that piece and it's up. But I'm gonna go around, weld and finish that. That should be done in a couple hours. And I never really noticed how stiff this thing is getting until I leaned on it a couple minutes ago. And it's like, this thing is a full-on car right now. Even though it's not even welded to the floors yet, this thing's not moving. And there's only a couple clamps there and this one on the inside here just holding the inner wheel well to the sub rails. It's nothing crazy. There was some side-to-side sway without those inners there, as you can probably imagine. If all that material is gone, there's a lot of strength taken out of the panel of the body. So now it's I like that feeling. I've described it so many times, but when you're building something and you take it apart to the extent that I take things apart, and when it's going back together and you weld stuff and it's like you feel it and it's like, okay, this doesn't move anymore. It's a really good feeling. So let's keep on welding, keep on making the progress. I'm making good strides on this car. Like, all the little things that I do is adding up very quickly now. So I feel this way. You guys probably feel this way with a project you're working on for months and months, and it doesn't seem like anything's getting done. It is. Trust me. Just power through. And when it comes time to do the major things, you've already done the preparations. So when it goes in, it's like done. And that's kind of how it is right now. You've seen me work on these wheel wells and little bitty patches here and there. So when I put them in, it's like super solid. And it's such a good feeling. Feeling really good about this project. Not that I felt bad about it, but like I kind of felt like I was, you know, what's that expression? I don't know, if I'm digging water out of a boat that has a hole in it, something along those lines. But that's what I feel like I was doing. But now there's no more hole in the boat, and I'm just slinging the water out of it. So I feel real good. So let's continue making progress. All right, for all the new people that don't know what I'm doing, when I finish a weld, I'm kind of gonna go over it quick. So what I do, I hammer and dolly one little piece at a time, and you can see I've done from here onto here. You can see there's no weld line anymore; it's gone, and it's nice and flat. Then I work my way over, just the dark spots here, obviously that the file doesn't touch, is going to be dark, and you're going to see the discoloration from the weld. That's why I don't like sanding or doing anything before I start this process, because it'll get rid of that, and it'll kind of get rid of, it's kind of a visual to show you how you're doing, where the lows are. You can also use some Dicom or spray paint, whatever you want to use, but I like using the discoloration. It's easy, you don't have to put anything on there. So that's obviously a low. So I need to hammer and dolly that to raise it up. Then move over to here, do a bunch of hammering here. See a low spot there, low spot there. So that means really the weld is proud, and that little spot next to it's also a little bit low because the file did hit up there. That I hit with a grinder, and so you see here, I filed this quick and it's only hitting the top. That means it's misaligned. From the bottom of the slip to the top is sticking out more. So that's why it's only hitting there. So once I hammer and dolly this whole area, it should kind of level everything out. And I'll have to file it, hammer it, file it again, hammer it, file it. Because if you do it all in one pass, it's really not going to work out, because you want to raise up this weld area so you can grind it down. Raise it up, then grind it down. Because it's kind of hard to explain. If you just smash it till it's flat, there's gonna be a line on this side of the weld that you're never gonna get out unless you thin the metal too much, because you're gonna flatten it misaligned, which is gonna make one side thinner than the other. I don't know if that explains it well, but that's kind of how I've figured it out. So I kind of did that the whole way around. I guess the way I was heating it, it kind of wanted to pull back in, but that's really not a problem. I'll take care of it with the hammer and dolly. Again, I don't know how confusing that was or if it made sense at all, but that's kind of what I'm doing. Hammer and dollying, then filing, then doing it again, filing some more. You don't want to take off too much because this can tend to take a lot of material off. So just kind of go gently with your file, or I've done it with this before. You can do it with this. I just feel like that body file gives a nicer finish, and when you go along with your DA, it smooths it out easier than that. And that's only because I'm using a low grit, low grit. But that's that. Let me get back to work. All right, shepherd's all done. Wanna go outside? Yeah? Oh, camera shy. Okay, play for a little bit. All right, so while Sheppy was, fixing the floors, I was shortening and lengthening a couple things. So these got shortened. All I really did was flatten out the old flange and then bend it higher up, essentially. And there you go, no cutting, no welding. These guys need to be lengthened, so I made a extension. It's got a little angle on both sides, and it's got some material wrapped over. Just kind of made a quick little patch, because it doesn't need much. It needs about, like, I don't know, a quarter of an inch, a half an inch. So I made an inch height. So I'm probably going to just cut the flange off, mark it, and cut and weld it when the back half is off. Made the matching one. Well, not matching, but mirror image for the other side. It's got the 3 holes in there like the original does. It's spaced out a little different, but I like my spacing better. So yeah, just wrapping up I'm wrapping up a couple little things before I take it off and finish welding stuff. So that's where we're at.